Hello. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate a new plugin that I've developed with MeterPlugs called Loudness Penalty. As the name suggests, it does exactly the same as the Loudness Penalty website, except you can use it right inside your DAW in real time and also gain extra insights that are not available on the website. So what's the Loudness Penalty and why should you care? Online streaming services like YouTube, Spotify, Tidal and Pandora are all reducing the level of loud songs to stop users being blasted by sudden changes in loudness. The problem is they all do it in slightly different ways and they all use slightly different reference levels, so it's very hard to know exactly how your music is going to be treated when you upload it after mixing or mastering. That's where Loudness Penalty comes in. You get a simple set of numbers that tell you exactly what the change in loudness for your music is going to be on the platform of your choice. So here's the plugin, and as you can see, I've just measured this song that I've been working on in the mastering. This is I Got Friends by Black, White, Grey Colour, and this is actually quite a bit louder than I would normally have mastered this tune, but I wanted to show you what happens when you push it quite hard. And you can see the Loudness Penalty plugin is telling us that if we uploaded this song to YouTube as it's mastered currently, YouTube would turn the loudness down by 3.8 dB. Spotify would turn it down by 5.2 dB because they have a slightly lower reference level. Tidal's reference level is the same as Spotify's, but they measure loudness in a slightly different way. Spotify use replay gain and Tidal use the LUFS method of deciding loudness, so Tidal would not turn this song down quite as much as Spotify would. And that's important because lots of people say, oh, you can just aim for -14 LUFS or some other target level to get great results online. But in our experience, LUFS estimates can be wrong by as much as 3 dB, and Loudness Penalty is much more accurate. So far, these results are exactly the same as you could achieve by using the free Loudness Penalty website that I set up with MeterPlugs about a year ago. And just like the website, we can also enable a live preview to hear this loudness adjustment. So if I just switch that on and off at the beginning of the song, you'll hear the loudness change by, let's use Spotify so there's no way that you can miss it. So here is the mastered loudness. And you can hear now that I've enabled preview, the level is a lot lower. If I disable it, you'll hear it jump back up. And notice the flashing arrow above Spotify showing that it's currently the streaming service that we've selected for previewing. And the great thing about the preview function is that providing your browser is using the same audio interface as your audio software, you could do a live comparison of this song with the loudness penalty applied and compare the way that it sounds directly with YouTube or Spotify or the streaming service of your choice. And if you're happy with the way that it sounds, then you're basically done. But if you're like me, you might look at these numbers and think, well, if the song's going to be turned down by 3.7 dBs on YouTube, for example, how would it sound if I reduced it by 3.7 dBs before the limiter, before I upload it? So let's reset the plugin and see what happens when we press play now. So you can see that the values are updating in real time. And because the introduction is quiet, based on what it's measured so far, Spotify would actually increase the gain of a track if it was only this loud. So let's take a listen. Friends in all the right places, tempting me with water and wine. One interesting thing is you can see as soon as I did that, we started getting clipping on the output bus because I've placed the plugin after the final limiting, so applying extra gain is going to push those levels up into clipping. And if we roll over the loudness penalty value being displayed by the plugin, we get an extra piece of information that tells us that limiting may be applied on Spotify to achieve this increase. Spotify is the only streaming service to use a limiter. So that's a piece of valuable information there. And when we look at the symbol for YouTube and Tidal, we can see that based on the beginning of the song that we've just played, they wouldn't change the loudness of this song at all yet. Now, of course, that will change once we've played all the way through the song, and it is important to realize that to get the final accurate value for the loudness penalty of a song, you do have to play it from the beginning to the end. But we'll come back and talk about that more in a minute. For now, let's just continue watching the values that we get here.
They don't know the panic inside. Like, what could I become? For too long I've been dreaming of an ordinary life. For too long I've been dreaming of a baby and a wife. But
And notice what was happening there. When the guitars and drums stepped up a gear, all of these loudness penalty values started falling quite rapidly. And that's another valuable thing about having this real-time feedback from the plugin rather than an overall value from the website. Using the loudness penalty plugin, we can find the loudness pain points, sections of the song that are going to have a big effect on the loudness penalty. Another piece of information the plugin gives us can be found by hovering over one of these symbols that means no change. YouTube and Tidal don't increase the loudness of quieter songs in the same way that Spotify, Pandora and iTunes do. And lots of people have said to us after using the website they would like to know how much it would be possible to increase the loudness of their songs without causing a loudness penalty. And the plugin tells you exactly that. If we hover over the YouTube value here, we can see that it says a 1.2 dB increase is possible without causing a penalty. Again, that's just based on the current estimate at this point in the song. We would need to play it all the way through to see whether that continues to be the case. And if we go over to Tidal, a 0.3 dB increase is possible. So this song is currently measuring almost exactly on Tidal's reference level, but we need to play the rest of the song to get the full picture.
what could I become? For too long I've been dreaming of an ordinary life. I know who you are. I know where you go. I know how your story ends. Just you and me alone.
So there you go. We can see that the 4.5 dB reduction in level that was going to happen with the previous master of this track on Tidal has reduced to only 1.8 dBs. We reduced the input gain to the limiter for this track by 3 dBs, and the loudness penalty also reduced by almost 3 dB. That means that after loudness normalization on Tidal, this song will play back with almost exactly the same overall loudness, but we've got 3 dBs of extra peak headroom back on the limiter. That's 3 dBs of potential extra life, space, and excitement in the sound. Now, whether it sounds that way to you or not depends on your taste, but we can use the preview function to listen and compare both versions and decide which one we prefer. And that's the value of the loudness penalty plugin. It tells us what's going to happen when we upload our music online before we upload it, and gives us the information we need to make the best possible musical choices to get the results that we want. So there you go. I hope you found that useful or interesting. If you want to find out more about the loudness penalty plugin, head over to meterplugs.com/loudness-penalty, or go to meterplugs.com and follow the link. You can try the loudness penalty website yourself for free at loudnesspenalty.com. I hope you find it useful. Thanks for listening.